him up. Elam is going to try this, and it will be a 60, let's call it 63-yard attempt. Spotted at the Bronco 47-yard line. Snap a little hot. Elam's kick. Oh, the line drive. It's got enough distance.
Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five or six or seven, not 8, 9, or even 10 games in a row. No, actually, they've won 10 games in a row. They've won exactly 10 in a row. We're sitting at 11-2 in the the uh the Denver Broncos as a football team have won 10 straight games before the Nikola Jokic Denver Nuggets have ever won 10 straight games. This is
And
uncharted territory for
Brett,
for fan
and
favorite here.
you're forgetting an important accolade that we got this week.
Ooh,
We are the most fraudulent 11-2 team in NFL history.
that's right.
Feels
The
good.
Great Escape. We
Feels
listen,
good.
another week. We got away with it. We got away with it.
It's one score game. One score game, man.
Listen, the
We
Raiders
eked it
just
out.
looked at they looked across at us. We pointed to a little sign that said 10-2. They gave up. They didn't even check. They didn't even check. They just let us through. My name is Rhett Johnson. I'm joined by my older brother Ian, as I always am. We are a long way away from each other. We're both in basements, and we are excited to talk about this. Ian, the the Oakland Raiders suffered what might be the most embarrassingly helpless one-score defeat ever achieved. It is a 24-17, I think, is our final score line.
It's
Uh,
amazing to me. This is the second pod in a row you've called them the Oakland Raiders, which
yeah,
I appreciate because honestly, man, like they never should have left Oakland. I
and
feel
Sherman
like
never should have left.
they kind of like their fan base kind of sucks now. Like
Yeah,
going into the black hole and winning used to mean something. This was a home game for Denver. Like
it
let's be
it
real.
was. It feels like Garth Brooks got to a point where he was like, I don't want to tour anymore. I'm just going to kind of do a residency in Vegas. And it
Yep.
feels like it feels like the Oakland Raiders franchise was like, you know what? I don't want to pay for a new stadium. We're just going to take up a residency in Las Vegas. Like they don't feel a part
It
of
doesn't feel right.
the city. They don't feel a part of the culture. It's
Yep.
no negative aura as a franchise.
Yep.
And yeah, the Broncos, I would say a full four-quarter game from
Yep.
this Denver Broncos squad for the first time in a long time. And yes, the competition wasn't great, but this was a team that had been playing down to its opponents. And I again, the score line is unfortunate. Lots of garbage time. Lots of just some weird decisions at the end of the game to make it a one-score game. But this was not a close football game. Ian, what did you see when let's start with the defense. When the Broncos defense was out there, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the usual dominance. I know like the Raiders go down on their first drive and they score pretty easily. And I don't know what like the social media pulse was from Broncos fans. I know for me when I saw that happen, it's like that's unfortunate. I'm not really worried though. Like it's pretty common for a team to go out like that, and you a lot of times you have scripted plays and
Hmm.
I think after that, you just saw our defense start to impose its will on Geno and the Raiders. It kind of just looked like I thought it would look from that standpoint. Uh, we're still we're still needing some of our defensive backs to hit the jugs machine. Uh,
Hmm.
but overall, yeah, man, I was impressed. It looked kind of like I defer to somebody who like has looked at like all 22 or whatever. Looked like we had Sertan kind of travel with Bowers some. which I like. That almost seems too simple, right? Like, yeah, let's put our best player on their best player.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really liked what I saw. I thought it was sound. Um, Obviously, we'll get to this later, but much tougher test coming up this week. But that being said, yeah, thought there was the usual dominance, which is great to see. So yeah, I was very happy with our defensive performance. Um, yeah, Rhett, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought that this was a great just example of what this defense can be, and the way that it's gotten healthier with Sertan back. We're getting to reap the benefits of having him out for a while. We had to get Chris Abrams drain blooded into this lineup, and
Yep,
he had to go out and play some big boy football. And now we can do whatever we want with the defensive backfield. Like we
yep,
had the option to we it was not we didn't lose anything moving Pat Surtain inside to cover Brock Bowers for a week and do a lot of moving him in
yep,
and playing around with the numbers and playing around with the positions because we have enough cover on the outside. And the pass rush forces teams into a situation where they have to like you have to beat the Denver Broncos and you have to do it without a drop back passing game. The last two opponents we've had, the Raiders and the Commanders, have both said just to hell with any sort of significant like we're going to stretch the field, we're going to try
yep,
this backfield.
yeah,
It's been quick game. That's been it.
yep,
And
yep,
if you can't turn and hand the ball off 30 times against this defensive line, which is also a very good unit, and have success, it's frustrating that we don't have the same amount of turnovers. We did get an interception in this game, and that's big. But this is not a turnover forcing unit. This is a unit that just shuts your water off. Like
yeah,
this is a siege unit. This unit just camps
yeah,
outside around an offense and says you will starve. There's nowhere to go, and
yep,
um, I like that. It feels like preparing for the playoffs. In the playoffs, it's all about you have a matchup and every offense is going to pose certain questions and the defense has to have answers for it. And then the defense has to, like has to pose its own questions, right? And it feels like a defense that has a whole lot of answers for
yep.
whatever kind of offense that we're going to have to step up and face in December and January.
Totally, man. And like you mentioned, like you made a great point about like Sertan being out helps us to keep our DBs ready. Have you noticed VJ's talked about how now he's intentionally like working Chris Abrams drain into like a series or two
Hmm.
in place of like Riley Moss just to keep him like fresh and ready, which I think is really smart. I also think it speaks to the luxury that we have that we can do something like that. Like we've got a really great depth in our defensive backfield, but then also up front, like DJ Jones is out. I thought Malcolm Roach played a great game.
Mm,
Um, I think Jonathan Franklin Myers played really well. Just a lot of the, I mean, just we have so much depth at all phases of the defense, and yeah, just a luxury a lot of teams don't have.
yeah. Exciting stuff from them, but I would say maybe even a more overall, maybe not objectively a better performance, obviously not, but the more promising, the more exciting side was seeing what the Broncos were able to do on offense. The felt like the passing game has continued its upward trajectory. It has continued to look more consistent, more viable. But I really liked that we saw also more from the ground game. So, Ian, what stuck out to you when you think back or look back at this game from the Broncos offense?
Yeah, I think RJ Harvey's kind of the first thing that pops out, right? Like
Mhm.
we saw the previous 2 weeks. Um, the talent's obviously there with him,
Mhm.
but obviously questions are raised about his vision, about picking the right hole. Well, I thought he did a much better job of that against the Raiders. He was running hard. That first drive,
Mm,
the little pass Bo did to him, and he got just walloped, and he kept his balance and got what a like his leg drive is unreal. But yeah, like we just saw a more decisive AJ Harvey. or Harvey. Sorry. We saw we saw him running hard through contact. We saw good burst. And does that sell me on the idea that RJ can just be our bell cow long term? I'm not sure. I know that Sean's kind of, we talk about the Joker, and I know Evan Ingram kind of came in, and that was the assumption. Honestly, RJ Harvey, in my opinion, has been more of a Joker than
Hmm.
Evan Ingram has. And so he's kind of worked himself into that role. But all that being said, RJ played really well. I think our running game as a whole, I mean, you saw Jaleel McLaughlin hit a couple of nice runs. You saw Adam Prentice with the 18-yard run. That
Yes.
was awesome, man. He's played well these last couple weeks. Really good to see that from our running game. As far as the passing game goes, I liked what I saw from Bo Nix. The ringer. This is going to
Hmm.
shock people. They're not pleased with Bo Nix's performance this week. I know. They don't think it's good. They talked about, like, you know, a punt return touchdown being the difference between a win and loss. It was like, okay, obviously you didn't watch the game. Um,
Yeah.
and they talked about how much Bo left on the field, which might be true. Like, you could pull up the coach's film and show me, like, yeah, he hit this guy, but there was a guy deep. That might be true. But if you listen to the way that Sean and Bo both talked after the game, there was a
Hmm.
lot of like, listen, we know we are the better team here. Like, we understand that we are more talented, we're better. We are just gonna take everything they give us because we know we're better, right? Like, we're gonna and they did a lot of that. I mean, 31 for 38 for 212, whatever that is. Like, that's not,
Yeah. That's.
like, if you look at like yards per attempt or yards per complete, like, yeah, that's not impressive. But I thought Bo managed the game really well. He avoided mistakes. Um, Look, he had like four drops, I think. Even
Hmm.
like at the this is I mean, I know it's not this simple, but like the Hail Mary at the end of the half like was pretty dang well placed. Like
Yeah.
it hit Pat Bryant's hands, and that's a tough catch. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Hail Marys are really hard, but Bo had some throws that were dropped, and I just thought he played really well. In I, listen, we from the very beginning of all of this, his career, we have likened him to, not we, not you and I. We're absolved. We're absolved from this, but we have likened him to Drew Brees because of,
Hmm.
which is inevitable. He doesn't play like Drew Brees, and he never has, and he's not going to. And that's not a slight. That's just he's just a different kind of quarterback. He is like if Alex Smith like snorted cocaine. That's what he is. And
He's if Alex Smith watched a lot of Matthew Stafford film.
yeah, yeah, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I think we can absolutely win a ton of games with a
Hmm.
quarterback like that. And I just think, Rhett, when Bo plays within himself, good things happen for this football team. Good things happen for this offense. That's what he did, and so I have
Hmm.
no issues with his performance. I thought it was great. It's not going to look super pretty, like, in terms of passing yards and all that stuff. But like, who cares, man? Like, he was decisive. He distributed the ball to like what 11 or 12 different receivers. Like, the dude was playing point guard, and it worked for what we needed. Yeah, I thought it was great all around. Rhett, I was pleased with our offense. Shout out to Pat Bryant. He continues to just look like the dude's got the goods. Um, I think we're probably slowly seeing him start to lap Troy Franklin a little bit,
Hmm.
and that's probably for the best. And yeah, I don't know. That's my takeaways. What are your thoughts?
I I think this is a great example of, like you said, who really sat down and watched the game, and not
Mhm.
even just like who looked at the tape, who watched the game in in real time and
Yep.
felt the game breathe,
Yep.
because this 31 of 38 doesn't for 212 doesn't sound dominant. It really was, because you had eight or three different drives of more than 8 minutes.
Bingo.
It felt like as an offense, like it was so stress free. Bo dropping back to pass, I knew someone would be open and that they would get like 8 yards. Like
Yeah.
that they would just
Yeah.
we were just chewing up yardage using the passing game almost like a running game. It was really cool to see the command that Bo has, where early in the season with Sean Payton, with the offense doing all of the personnel changes, with the offense doing a lot of complicated stuff and having its the way that it functioned, the in and out plays, getting in, plays going out, being sloppy for the first month of the season. The simple fact was that this is why you do it that way, is because we've gotten to December now, and Sean Payton has like all of his plays installed, and he knows his formations and he knows his personnel, and he's able to play around with it and change things up. And he's able to get the ball to his number one receiver. I'm not sure where Ian is, but I'm excited to make this point regardless. Uh, he knows he knows how to. He has this whole big, uh, crazy expanse of offense that he can now call. And we're getting to a point where we're seeing more and more and more of it used. This is where we are seeing Adam Prentice show up in the offense. We're including the fullback. I'm excited to see what happens when we have Adam Prentice still, and I really hope his first name is Adam. Yeah, it said we have Prentice still, and we're getting Nate Atkins back hopefully soon, and that gives you two guys that have very similar roles. That's one's a true fullback and one's kind of a fullback tight end, and the kind of formations that you can play with that. You can go heavy in a different way, the way that we've been adding a tackle and um, you know, jump starting the run game that way. But we've also had some really interesting pass concepts off of that heavy look that have come through. Grooming Pat Bryant to be able to become a true receiver and actually play in an X role has also freed up Cortland Sutton to not have to just be the outside X flanker receiver. And you know he can do more things. We can be more creative because we invested earlier in the year with an offense that simply is not um, just one thing, and it frustrates fantasy owners. It frustrates fantasy podcasters a lot. But this is Sean Payton's philosophy of football, um, on display for all to see. His philosophy is I need to create an offense where anything can happen at any time so that the defense has there's no great tells, there's no bread and butter to say of like we just do this thing over and over and over again. This is going to be it. Sean Payton instead says we can kind of do everything at like a 80% or more. Like it's not that we're not the best offense in the league at doing any one thing, but we are a functional or good or even very good offense at everything. We can play the power run game, and we showed that today. And RJ Harvey, or today, earlier this week, RJ Harvey showed the leg drive, showed the tenacity to burrow in and find just those extra few yards and to get what he got. I saw so much growth from him, not just looking to bounce everything. We can stretch to the outside with RJ Harvey and with Jaleel McLaughlin. Like we can challenge you guys on the edges of the defense. So we can challenge the edge of the defense. We can do the quick game. We can pass deep. We can work the middle of the field now more certainly than we could last year. Bonix has grown a lot in that area, challenging and making the middle of the field a place where he's really comfortable. We can also take shots on the outside and force the ball that way. This offense, it doesn't have marquee names. It doesn't have. Um, it probably doesn't have any Pro Bowlers in the weapons side of it. This offensive line uh is very is really good. This is an incredible offensive line, and that's really our calling card. But the weapons on the outside, everyone can we have someone that can do everything. And so when you see an offense like this come together, even though it's the Raiders, even though it's not a good team, a 2-10 football team, you get yourself set up for any sort of matchup. And in an AFC where there is no one dominant team, we are going to find ourselves at the mercy of a lot of uncontrollables. And so I do want to, before we preview the upcoming game against Green Bay, um, Ian had an emergency. He'll be back if he can. If not, I'll run the rest of this pod solo. That's totally fine. Um, I want to talk about a concept and check in on the uncontrollables. Um, we think about sports so often in a kind of a wrong way. We think to ourselves which team is the best. We look at the talent, we look at the coaching staff, we look at the way the rosters gel together, not chill. I mean, if the roster chills more, you might hang out more. They might gel together better. But we look at those things and we try to pick a champion. And I think the truth is that most of the time, the champion of the league, the Super Bowl team, is the team that benefited from a bunch of stuff that doesn't prepare. Hey, welcome back.
Sorry, I had a little thing. I'll
Hey, that is all right.
explain later.
No, you're good.
So,
I talked some about the offense, and then I was just moving into our second segment. So I'll set it up, and this is an uncontrollables check-in. So that's a great. This is a we can't control everything in life. Sometimes we have little emergencies. Um, you cannot build a football team that will guarantee win a Super Bowl. The best team doesn't always win. The best thing that you can do as a team is get yourself into that conversation and then hope the uncontrollable things go your way. So, health, matchups, luck, uh, you know, those kind of things. And I wanted to take a look at as we're heading down the home stretch, how are these uncontrollables looking for us? Because I think, and I think you would agree, Ian, this Denver Broncos team is a true contender. We can throw our hat into the ring, and probably what's going to determine whether or not we end the season as Super Bowl champions or lose in the first round or lose, like along the way anywhere, is probably going to be stuff that's more or less out of our control. So, the first thing is health. How do we feel about the status of the Broncos' health heading into the home stretch and into the playoffs?
honestly, pretty good, Rhett. I, first of all, there are like a few pieces that like are starting to come back. Obviously,
Mhm.
like today we heard Nate Adkins practicing again. The
That's huge.
glue, right? Um, Powers window has opened, and I think he did some stuff today. Um, which is great. What's been really nice about this team is when we have suffered injury, for the most part, we have been able to supplement that with our depth. So when Sertan went down, obviously, like our defensive backfield continued to play great based on the efforts of Riley Moss, Chris Abrams-Drain, Jade Barron.
Hmm.
We really didn't miss too much of a beat, which sounds crazy when you talk about like losing the defensive player of the year. Um, Nate Adkins goes down. That's a big blow. But Adam Prentice has started to find his stride
Hmm.
to the point where I'm almost like, is there a way to get them both in the backfield at some point? Like that just is there some kind of
Yeah.
fun thing we could do? Um, I think about Ben Powers. Palczewski, I think, has done a very good job filling in to the point where you're like looking back. Remember when we tried Peart at a guard before we went to Palcho? Um,
Ah!
you know, uh, yeah, like these guys, we find it's a next man up thing, which I know sounds cliche, but we've mostly been able to manage it. I'd say like probably the most brutal one, in my opinion, has been the J.K. Dobbins injury.
Hmm.
Uh, he was just on a trajectory. I mean, he was going to be like a 1,300-yard rushing season. Like he was just so consistent and reliable, and obviously understanding his injury history, you feel for him too. Um, RJ Harvey this last game showed some promise there too. So I feel good about our health. We've got guys. who are coming back at the right time, but also we've had guys step up. So I think
Hmm.
that in terms of health, that is we're total contenders in that realm. Like our health looks the part it needs to going forward
Yeah.
for that. So
I think that this is one that's an A for me. Like if we were gonna give it a grade, like it's it might be the single factor that is most getting me to lean out like far over maybe over my skis, but I'm leaning more and more into the potential of this team because, like you said, we're getting healthy and we're getting healthy at the right time. And we could essentially be walking into the playoffs with only J.K. Dobbins as our only injury. And if we are able to replace him, and if Harvey's able to stand in
no,
and be a player that he's capable of being, we could be one of the only really fully healthy teams going into the playoffs, and that would be
no,
huge. Secondly, the other side of health is this. I think we're a uniquely positioned team to handle just about any injury. I mean,
yeah,
potentially losing Bo Nix, like losing a quarterback would be huge. But like
yeah,
as far as backup quarterbacks go, I feel confident in what Denver has, and we've seen this defense without Pat Surtain, and this defense is still very very good. Even if we were to lose a you know Nick Bonito or a Jonathan Cooper, we have so much pass rush that it
yeah,
feels like we are also a team that is not one domino away from being like, okay, well, pack it in. Like
yeah,
if something happens to
yeah,
Josh Allen, the Bills are just done. And
yeah,
there is maybe not a single player on this team that I feel like if they go down, we are simply cooked.
right,
I think we can
yeah,
possibly overcome in anything. The second one is looking at um, potential matchups in the playoffs. We had a brief conversation about this, but is there any one team that you think we just cannot work against more? That you'll be like, oh,
yeah.
this doesn't fit.
We talked about it last week. We probably don't want to see Buffalo.
Mhm.
Do I think it would be a blowout like it was last year in the wild card round? No, I think we're a better team now. But the way that they play, the way they run the ball, I think we'd maybe have a tough time with it. As far as the AFC goes, that's probably the one that would bother me the most. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I would not love seeing the Texans again.
Mhm.
I know we beat them in Houston and everything, and that's great. But I mean, that's the best defense in the league, man. And
That's-
they're one of those teams I don't think anybody really wants to see. Um, you
It would be
know,
like in the I don't if you watched the Superman movie that came out, but like Superman versus Superman's clone kind of thing. Like it's like, oh God, like we are
yeah,
exactly the same.
yeah. I had been nervous about like running into another AFC West team in the playoffs just because that'd mean we'd play them 3 times. But honestly, like, and maybe this is just setting me up to eat crow, like several weeks from now. But you know, the Chiefs and the Chargers don't overwhelm me. I think like it'll be interesting to see their game this week. Like the Chargers have a
Hmm.
chance to kind of put the nail in the coffin for the Chiefs, but I mean the Chargers right now it's kind of Herbert being a superhuman and overcoming a lot of injuries and a lot of deficiencies on that Chargers team. Ugly game against the Eagles the other night. And then the Chiefs, I mean, they've just looked really uninspiring. So I think I'd freak out a little bit less running into one of them. Yeah, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I want to see the Patriots. I know,
Hmm.
and I don't. I need to clarify. I don't think they're frauds. I'm not saying that I think they are a fraudulent team either. We have both of our teams have kind of been under that scrutiny. Us because of the nature of our wins, them because of the nature of their schedule. Um, but like I don't think either of us are frauds. I feel like we'd beat them, especially if they had to come to Denver. So yeah, honestly, Rhett, the teams that scare me more are the teams that we would run into in the Super Bowl if we made it that far.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
one of them we play this week, and we'll talk about it again. But I think the Packers are really tough. I think the Rams and the Seahawks are really tough. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Mhm. Um, I love it. I think that's the same. Like I'm looking at the AFC and I'm going, I think we have what it takes to beat just about anyone. Um, yeah, like again, in position to eat crow here. I think the Chargers conversation is a non-starter. That offensive line can't we can't lose to a team
Yeah,
with that offensive line. We just simply like we can't. We mustn't. If we do, fold up the franchise because that should be an Achilles heel. That should
it,
be
it it would be a thing where it's just like, okay, I guess Jim Harbaugh just has Sean Payton's number.
mhm,
Like
yeah. Like Justin Herbert did some crazy wild wizardry to beat us in week 3. And that's fine. We get them again, and Justin Herbert is less protected and is also hurt, like has like is beat up and is not like fresh,
yeah,
spry beginning to see like I think that we see that um
yeah.
going. So I agree. I'm not afraid with anyone. And then how do you feel how do you feel about just like I would say this is the third kind of uncontrollable thing that's kind of controllable, but I don't know. I put it in this like money downs. Uh, how do you feel about in this situation the defense getting stops on third downs on red zone possessions, and Bo Nix getting or the Broncos offense generally, but getting conversions on the money downs in the red zone and turning three
Yeah,
points into seven or 0 points into three? How do you feel?
pretty good. On defense, I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know what the stats are for this. It does feel like recently we have given up a lot of like third and longs,
Hmm.
um, for whatever reason, whether it's a Riley Moss PI or just some miscommunication, or we think we've got the quarterback down in the backfield and then he gets away and like, which has been frustrating. But I think I mean, on third and long, I like my defense,
Hmm.
in that. So I don't. Red zone, I have so much confidence in our defense. I think they've been sensational in the red zone, man.
Hmm.
I can't. How many times this season have we seen them like push the offense backward? Um,
Historically
I
good in the red
they
zone.
they had another turnover on downs on the Raiders offense in the red zone this game. Like they're awesome. On offense, I saw a thing today. I don't remember where. Uh, I guess Bo has been pretty dang good on third downs, right?
Oh, is
Like
it? I have a
you
stat
look like
here. I
you
have
have
a
it.
stat here
Okay,
for you that I
yeah,
I
go
I
ahead and
saw,
read it.
and this is from Twitter at NFL Researcher. So they're probably legit. Most first downs or touchdowns on third down this season. Confusing sounding stat, but most first downs or touchdowns on third down this season. Justin Herbert, number one, with 69. And then tied for second is Josh Allen and one Bo Emerson Nix. I don't know what his middle name is.
Chapman,
Bo Chapman
Chapman.
Nix. That's right. I was like, I couldn't remember. Bo Chapman Nix, 61 first downs or touchdowns from the position of being on third down this season.
Yeah,
That's that's got to be a stat that has a decent amount of noise and variance season to season, but also the the list isn't there's not bad quarterbacks on the list. It's Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Bo Nix, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, Drake May, Caleb Williams, and then Trevor Lawrence at the end. Those are all guys that like every like I feel like everyone else on that list has the reputation of being like someone with a gun who can like go and fit the ball in and arm talent across the board. And then Bo Nix is like not doesn't have that reputation, but like let me tell you, you need to get it on third down. Bo's getting it done. That's like it- that's the thing. And if I know anything about playoff football, is it comes down to getting stops on third down. It comes down to getting conversions on third down. It's it's about like bringing your defense and like going and getting into a muddy, sloppy, bad game and winning in a close one. And that's I just feel like this is what the whole team is built to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I, I'm just feeling more and more unreasonably sure of the Broncos thing. And then the last thing is going to largely be decided even this upcoming Sunday is seeding. Um, like
Yeah.
like if we can get the one seed, the amount of rest that we're going to get going into the playoffs is going to be ridiculous. We'll have
Yeah.
one game in more or less like 3 weeks heading into a playoff run. But as far as getting a 1 or 2 seed, that's pretty. I, we would have to have a really bad downturn, a bad December to
Yeah.
end up with the three. Like,
And I think a lot of it depends too on how New England does with their because I mean
mhm.
I mean we have a tough final four games. I mean
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we got Green Bay this week and then we have is it the Jacksonville game at home? Both of
hmm
these are at home and then we go to Arrowhead and then we finish at home with LA. So I mean three games at home is great. But those
yeah,
are none of those teams are pushovers either. I know like the Chiefs having a down year, but I mean they're yeah, I mean we they gave us a really good fight the last time we played. So they're going to be tough, and they're going to be looking to, you know, ruin our chance at good seating and everything. But yeah, I mean, look, we're in a good position. I mean, we're 11-2. Um,
hmm
we control our destiny, and I do think that maybe more than any team, we will benefit with a one seed. So it's definitely worth playing for, and yeah, it'll be we're going to learn a lot these next few weeks before we get to
yeah.
the postseason.
I think this December is really set up great for us. We get to play tough teams. We also get to play at home. We get to be comfortable. Not a lot of travel. If there is a chance, if the Chiefs drop a game or two, like if the Chargers win this week, there's a chance that we get to Christmas and the Chiefs are in their first home game with like outside, like after being eliminated from the playoffs uh, in for the first time in like what 11 or 12 years or whatever.
Yeah,
And uh, man, that there is a chance they could be like, oh, we're the old guard and
yeah,
we're not going to go out, like bad like this. We're going to come out swinging and it's
yeah,
a tough game. There's also a very big chance that as soon as like it's official and they can't do anything more, that everyone just collapses,
yeah,
right? Because like, oh man, we fought the fight. You're going through. It's the last 5 years have been so tough. There's a chance that we get a freebie there, and regardless, even though we're playing tough teams, being at home for everything but the Chiefs game makes me say we can go into the playoffs knowing that I'm confident that the only places that we will play playoff games in the AFC, or I guess you can add wherever the Super Bowl is being played, but is Denver, Colorado, Foxborough, Massachusetts, and wherever the Super Bowl might be held.
yeah,
Those are the only possible locations of a playoff game, and that's kind of like even that knowledge in and of itself. Like I would like to have home field advantage the whole time. Going into Foxborough would be tough, but just knowing that that's the only place we'd ever have to travel to, even if we have a 2 seed, is uh, I think a huge confidence booster. And the AFC is so that like there is every chance that you get Drake May his first playoff start ever, and he doesn't have a great game, and the Patriots get punked at home by Josh Allen and the Bills, or you know by the Houston Texans with that ridiculous defense, and all of a sudden we make it to an AFC Championship game, and we are even if we are the 2 seed, we're still hosting. Like
yep, yep,
I think the uncontrollables. This is the whole thesis of this little bit. The uncontrollables. I think are looking nice. Like a
Yeah,
lot of good things are going.
we're in a good
The
position. We're
winds
11-2, man.
winds blowing in our direction. We are.
11, 11-2. We're getting healthy, and three of our last four games are at home. I mean, you know, if you asked us at the beginning of the year, would we take this? Oh, 100%. We'd be. Did either of us think we were going to be 11-2 at this point? Absolutely not, man. We did not. I was thinking 11-6 was probably like the ideal outcome of this year, and we're at 11 wins now with four more games to go. So,
Yeah.
uh,
11-6 and a wild card team that has an actual chance to maybe go in somewhere and beat someone on
yeah,
the road.
yeah,
Hosting a playoff game at this point, like, woof,
yeah,
we're very close. Um,
yep,
this big December we have starts with a visit from the Green Bay Packers. Packers are coming
yep.
to town. Um, Ian, what scares you more? Uh, is it Jordan Love, like Toyotathon Jordan Love, or Micah Parsons, like right now
Well,
as a
I think doesn't Toyota Fun end here in just a couple days or something?
uh
Maybe
po- possibly.
this is big. This
Let
is
me
important. This is
I
important
need to
stuff. We
choose.
need to know because Toyota Thon Jordan Love is different, man. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I don't know. I So essentially, Rhett, what you're asking me is like, what am I more worried about, the Packers offense or the Packers defense? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say. This is a really really good football team. I think it's like in the NFC. I think the Packers are right there with like the Rams and the Seahawks.
Hmm. Toyotathon unfortunately runs through the first week of January, so
Oh, bummer. For some reason, I thought it ended sooner. Okay, well, then I guess
we
we're gonna
don't
have to
have to
deal with that.
we do not have to worry about the Packers in the Super Bowl though. That's
That's
you
true.
heard it here first.
That's true. I guess, Rhett, to answer your question, because of how good our defense is, I think I trust them a little more. I think the Packers' offense is looking great right now.
Hmm.
I think they're going to be getting Jaden Reed back against us this Sunday. Christian Watson has started to kind of hit his stride as a player, which is nice to see. I know they're missing Tucker Kraft, but Josh Jacobs, he's as solid as ever. And Jordan Love, yeah, I mean, whether it's the Toyota Thon thing or whatever, he's played some really good ball. So their offensive line pass protects well. I think that as far as running, they're not as impressive of a unit, but I think they've pass blocked well. So it'll be a big test for our defense. I just think, you know, it's easier for me to trust our defense than our offense. I think Jeff Hafley, whatever his name is, Packers defensive coordinator, he runs a defense that's gonna, like, I'll put it this way. I think this is gonna be a bad Bo Nix game.
Hmm.
Now we've won a lot of bad Bo Nix games this year, so that doesn't mean we're out of it. But yeah, I mean, Micah Parsons is a guy that you got to account for him on every. I mean, he is up there. I'd put him just a hair of a tier below Miles Garrett. Um, he's an amazing player. They do a lot of things really well. That secondary has really come into its own. Um, that Nixon kid, whatever his name is, Keyshawn Nixon or
Hmm.
whatever, he's man, he's a heck of a player. Uh, so I could see our offense struggling. I don't think that running the ball on Green Bay is as simple as running the ball on Las Vegas.
Hmm.
So it'll be a test for sure. Now the good news is our offense has started to click a little bit in recent weeks, and so that's nice to see. Um, but I would say, yeah, I'm probably more worried about the Packers defense. With all due respect to the Packers offense.
Yeah. I find this to be a really interesting matchup of rosters because on both sides of the ball, um, the the Packers' weapons, I could be off base, but I think one of the strengths that the Packers have is that they don't have a number one wide receiver. And so it's hard to know who to key on.
Yeah,
Like it can kind of be anyone. Like It's been Christian Watson the last couple weeks. It's been Romeo Dubs for a little bit.
Yeah,
It's like you
Wicks.
said, it's yeah, Dontavian Wicks
Yeah.
has gotten in there.
Really, it
Still waiting.
really hasn't been Matthew Golden yet.
Really hasn't been Matthew Golden,
Yeah.
who crypto receiver. As I've long said,
Yeah.
I don't believe in him.
I forgot about that take. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. He may come around and make us look really dumb, but I think that I mean, like our defense is built to stop anyone, but this is one of the things. Like they can ask the question, what do you do whenever our fourth receiver is definitely better than your fourth defensive back? And we can say, actually, that's not true. Like actually, our defensive backfield is so deep that I think we can kind of
That's
just line up and play against the Packers.
and that's going to be the test because Jordan Love has been money against man
Hmm.
defenses this year, and that's what we like to do. So it will be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be kind of a. This is going to be a Matt LaFleur versus Vance Joseph, heavyweight fight. I think.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's gonna be both. I mean, because both sides of the ball, the coaching aspect gonna be crazy. Because with the Broncos offense and our weapons, we're similar, like kind of similar in flavor and feel to the Packers. We have Cortland Sutton, who's more of a number one for us than really anyone on the Packers is, but we just sort of have a bunch of guys who are good enough, knowing that you're super crazy scared of, but also too many guys to just to like someone's going to be left open, someone's you're not going to have a proper game plan for or
hmm
whatever. And the way the Packers have played defense, I know across the past they used to be just a pretty vanilla team, very zone based. We're just gonna kind of do this, and I feel like they've changed that identity up a lot this year, and that they're
yeah,
being way more imaginative, almost like tailoring game plans. And so um, this is going to be a really interesting game, and it's also one of the first games where I don't know enough about Green Bay, but I do know that they're a very talented roster, and so how this is going to look um, without a distinct like ridiculous talent advantage, almost like how is it going to look playing against a team that's a real contender? I will say I think the game is going to be won and lost with the offensive line. I think
no,
there's a chance if our O line is really what it is, if we can control the game on the ground, and then Bo Nix doesn't have to do the win the game thing.
yeah.
I think we have a I think that's a good path to winning. Also, Bo could just take another step. This could be
I
it's,
mean, here's the
he's
thing: I- if we beat the Green Bay Packers, that should do a lot for the media's perception of our football team.
Mhm.
Um, and the media's perception of Bo Nix because I do have a hard time imagining us beating Green Bay and Bo Nix not having at least a competent game. Um, yeah, it'd do a lot, man. A Green Bay team that's one of the best teams in the league, and this late in the season, their arrow is still pointing up. Like
Mhm.
this would do a ton, man. This would really because people like there's plenty of people who respect Denver, and a lot of people are saying we're contenders, but there are still some people who are doubting, and that's fine. This would do a lot, man. This would be a. It's easy to say this each week in real time. This would be the biggest win of the season, in my
Mhm.
opinion. So
This would be huge. There you can take the limiter off the optimism machine if we get this thing done. If we can beat the Green Bay Packers, we can beat anyone. We can win the Super Bowl. You can like start like start talking mess, man. Like this
yeah,
the AFC is looking for a team to step up and say, no, 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 it's us versus
yeah,
everyone. and a win in Green Bay would do it. Ian, do you have a score prediction?
Yeah, so I think there's an instinct in me that wants me to pick that we are going to lose this game. But you know what? Last time we recorded, I said this was one I think we'd win. I'm going to stand by it. I think we win 20-17. I think it's a close
20 to
one,
7.
but I
Oof,
think we get it done.
oof. All right, 20 to 17. I it's so funny. I I've been going in. I feel like honor bound to predict a loss. Like I'm like I ooh I like
Well,
I
we
need to,
are,
but
we are, we are. I think if I read this correctly earlier today, it is the first time in NFL history that an 11-2 football team at home is a Vegas underdog.
is a Vegas underdog.
So, and I hope Sean Payton plasters that all over the locker room the rest of the week, man. I hope we squeeze all the juice out of that bulletin board material. So,
I'm gonna go with I do, no, I think we win this game.
mm,
I think it's gonna be ridiculous. I'll give it 24-23.
okay.
Uh, on just a no fun 24, like maybe a great
Oh,
game,
it's
an
gonna be
absolute,
stressful. We're
and
gonna be
the
miserable.
most stressful. This was the Las Vegas game here. I put for the header of this episode, the last stress-free win of the season. Not because I think that we
You're
aren't going
right.
to be able to beat it. It's just going to be stress. I'm just going to be stressed. There's like
Yeah, let
this
us
is
be
that
very
was it.
clear. We will
We're
not be
done.
having fun anymore. No more fun football for
No.
us the rest of the year.
I hope you enjoyed the 2025 NFL season because there will be no more enjoying of it whatsoever. Like
I
even
had
there's a
I
chance
had
we
fun.
win the
I
Super
had
Bowl and I might just feel relief.
yeah, I had fun. Let's see. I had fun in the Bengals game, uh, and I had fun this last week. And I don't did I have fun any other time? I don't know that I did. Oh, the Cowboys game. The Cowboys game was
Yeah.
fun.
That was it. This is what we've been begging for was after years of not having fun because our team is bad. I'm so excited to not have fun because my team is good.
Yeah, yeah. People, you learn this eventually as a fan. Like fun's not really on the table. Okay, being a sports fan is not fun. There's nothing fun about being a sports fan. Okay, I know. Like I haven't been on Twitter for several years, but I remember a tweet that like went viral, which was just you've got to be out of your mind to be a sports fan. And I don't know that there's ever been anything more true than that. What an awful
Yeah.
thing that we're experiencing by being
Uh,
fans of a sports
the
team.
the truest meme out there on the internet is, have you seen the one that's the timeline that's like, oh boy, can't wait to watch my favorite team play, and then it's like during the entire game it's like I want to die, and then at the oh good, oh
Yeah.
good, we won. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
uh whew. So it's gonna be whatever it is, uh win or lose, we can guarantee it. We are predicting no fun, lots of stress. It's
Terrible.
gonna be the national. This one's. It's gonna be the big national game. It's the. I looked at the broadcast thing. It's the
Yeah. Yeah.
featured.
Yep.
It's the featured one. So out in front of the
Yep.
whole world. Win or loss, whatever happens, I'm just glad that we're relevant in December, man.
True
So
that.
we're on the way. This is a quick into the pod, but it needs to end. Let's go beat them Packers, huh?
Good night, everybody.
Good night.